Your eyes? Looks.
How you feeling, Eric?
Dandy.
How did I prepare for the role? I started off by memorizing my lines. Then I showed up on set and I said my lines.
Well, you know, I saw a lot of these kind of movies when I was a kid. Creature features. My sister and I used to watch them all the time. Werewolf and Dracula, and I love those movies growing up, and I didn't have to prepare for it because I had it all in my memories.
First of all, I didn't have much time to prepare.
When we came to the read-through, our lovely director Jose says, "Do you know any accents?" And being a girl from New York City, the only accent I know how to do is my native Brooklyn accent. So you really threw me a loop with that one. And I was so nervous because we started shooting the very next day. So I really think I spent most of my preparation time just freaking out about the accent portion.
This for me was actually kind of a big undertaking because the role was so important to me. I first started with watching, obviously, classics.
I tried to avoid watching the original. I'd never seen the original. And I tried to avoid it, but then after talking to Jose, I ended up watching it, and that completely changed my performance. And so I kind of kept that in the back of my mind the whole time.
I watched a few scenes from Bela Lugosi's Dracula, and I also listened to a lot of music. I created an entire soundtrack because we had such a quick turnaround. I was like, I need something that I can connect with, that I can like emulate. So I listened to a lot of like Mozart, specifically Lacrimosa. That song specifically triggered something in me for the role.
A big part of my prep was the accent in particular, because obviously I do not have a vaguely Romanian accent. So that, and also I always make playlists of music for my characters. So for her in particular, I just kind of conglomerated a bunch of really epic classical music that I would just listen to on the way to set and all of that. So I just, you know, she's a complex character, lots of feelings and emotions, and also animalistic rage. It's fun.
I spent an hour or more a day in my apartment just walking around, like doing the walk and working on the voice, trying to find the voice.
Monster Mash was an amazing experience strictly because of the people on set. We made this movie on a very shortened timeline, so we were all working extremely hard, extremely fast. And the only way a movie like this gets made is with amazing people doing amazing work.
I started with Charles first. I naturally developed this voice for him, and it just kind of organically came with this southern twang. And you and I had not previously discussed this, but when we were doing the read-through, I was steering away from that because I was like, maybe that's not the right choice. And you, independently of, we never talked about it, but you said, no, give it a little southern thing. I'm like, oh, right, that's what I did in my audition. So I went back to that, and it felt great for something like that to just occur. And I mean, the Wolfman, you just add a little more grunt.
I did a lot of emotional preparation, actually, because she's such a sad, dark character, and to go to that kind of place, it's very opposite from who I am as a person.
The most memorable moment was probably having to do like 90% of my scenes by myself in one day. I've never had that experience before. Having just to, because I got sick in the middle. I don't know if I could say the C word. I got COVID in the middle of shooting, and they had to, they got a body double to shoot all the wides and whatnot, and then we did all of my pickups in one day.
Ethan touches my forehead and knocks me back into the wall. oh my gosh, that was like, I didn't know he was gonna, obviously, until we were on set and we were rehearsing it, and what he gave me was really amazing.
Browning in her full costume and just kneeling at that coffin in between takes, just seeing her just talking, giggling with that full face on, it was an iconic moment, and I loved every second of it.
My favorite day on set was when we were shooting the cemetery. It was getting late. It was rain, a lot more rain than expected. That was the first day I was ever in wolf makeup, so I was excited about the prosthetics. And we had Frankenstein there. We had Invisible Man, Mummy, me in makeup for the first time, and just this bitchin' looking set with gravestones. And it's raining, and the fog machine, like just everything looked so bitchin'. Like it's so the way you would want a movie like this to look.
That's a unique question because I was blind the majority of the time. So I literally don't remember much.
Everyone was so polite and fun. Doesn't matter if we were shooting in the rain or in a soundstage in downtown LA. Everybody had a great attitude. Everybody was smiling. Everybody was laughing. The shots that we got were mind-blowing to me. You may not know this, but when you're shooting in a small stage, and I mean small stage, you have this expectation of what it's going to look like. And when I saw the final product, it blew me away. I thought we were on, like a studio lot, which we weren't.
It was always just so fun when all of the monsters were there and in their makeup, and all of us sitting around just existing as classic movie monsters was, that's not something you see every day. So it was just an absolute blast just being with those people.
The one surprise I had was the music that Frankenstein listens to. Music on the is that still in there?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a nice touch. It was really made it like a drama for me. It made it like a personal thing. I thought it was really interesting that was there.
Working with Michael Madsen was special because I grew up watching him, like Free Willy and Species and all the Quentin Tarantino movies, Reservoir Dogs. So seeing him, like him talking to me, I was like, oh my God, this is one of those like surreal moments. Like, man, I can't believe I get to do anything with this guy,
I think the team was really great. Everybody on the crew was incredible. So it made it a really easy and relaxed and like comfortable environment. So honestly, the hardest thing for me was that damn accent. And like not wanting to like totally embarrass myself with, we had Maddie Lane who plays the bar wench, and you asked us what accents we have, and she's like, oh, do you want me to do this one or this one or this one, because she's a voice coach. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, honestly, that was the hardest damn part for me.
The makeup, for sure.
On a set, it's always stop and go, right? So you have to have that emotion there the entire time. So I would say that was my hardest struggle.
Your eyes tell a lot of information. Having them gone, you had to rely on head tilts, and it became very interesting. And voice. Voice was very important.
I thought the shoot was great. I wish that it had been longer.
Who is my favorite monster? I'm not going to vote for myself, because even though Ramses was a king, he's a humble king. Everybody is such great people. You know what? I'm going to have to go with Boris. Eric is the gentlest giant of a man you'd ever meet in your life. He's so supportive of everybody on set. He's a good human being. And those are the people you want to see succeed. Those are the people you want to succeed with. I hope he gets everything he deserves, and I think he will.
They all have something fun about them. I'm kind of one of those annoying people that when you ask a favorite, I have a hard time picking a favorite. No, but it's not fair because...
I think, like, being the Invisible Man would be so cool because, like, imagine being a fly on the wall with, like, crazy conversations, like, getting to listen in, like, that's kind of interesting to me. Maybe a little creepy. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Invisible Man I loved because Gabriel added such a great... you don't see his face, but there's still so much character to that character. He gives it the voice that it has.
Mummy, because he always has those great one-liners and levity. Invisible Man is the same. He's got a lot of one-liners, but yeah, I think we jibed a lot because the face is old and decrepit, but there is just such a commanding comedic performance underneath, which I don't know if that was what he was going for, but it's just he killed it. And it wasn't what I expected, what I read on the page, and it was 100 times better. Yeah, The Mummy.
I'll probably cut the part out where you said it was 100 times better than what you read on the page, but
I mean, I gotta go with Boris. Everybody loves Boris. He's the best.
Boris. I got to see him the day I was on set, and oh my gosh, he did such a good job.
You watch a movie and it makes you cry. You could be nothing like that character, but there's still empathy that binds all humans. So yeah, there's definitely a Boris in everyone. There's a Boris in me always.
Seeing that character come alive, like meeting him as just Eric, and then seeing what he did with the character and how he like can roll a tear and deliver a line was just really impressive.
I have to give it to our mummy because I never saw that man out of makeup, and he was so funny and has so many comedic relief type lines. They were all incredible, but yeah, shout out to him.
Adam playing Mummy was hilarious. He's got the voice for it, and even when he's not trying to be funny, he's funny. It's just he in that role is wonderful.
I was fond of the werewolf. I don't know why. I felt sorry for him. I understood his thing, with the pentagram and I understood his dilemma.
Oh, and Elizabeth, not to leave her out. Hearing her on set and her accent for the first time, that blew me away. Like meeting the humans, the actors at like a read, and then seeing what they do with a character, seeing that shift into character mode is just so inspiring.
The fangs, the whole costume, the fangs and the eyes too. So when I could see myself having those like red contact lenses, because I have light eyes, and those, just from a distance made me look completely different. And then the fangs like affect how your mouth moves a little bit. And so in a way it kind of helped the accent because some of those like pronunciations worked better with the fangs.
do you have any advice for anyone who wants to become a cinematic mad scientist?
You better hope you have a good writer and a good director. Like the guy who's filming this.
Jose, the director, who may edit this out or who may put it at the front of the video depending on his ego. No, Jose, the director, was fantastic to work with. He was constantly having to improvise on the fly with the script and the story. With all of the pressures he was under, he never made us feel rushed. It was a pleasure being on set with him. I'd do it any day of the week.
Well, working with Jose, it's always a yes. He asked me to do something. This is my second time working with him. We did Headless Horseman together. He's one of my favorite people to work with, not only because he's a talented filmmaker, but also because he's a nice guy, and we always have fun.
Jose is amazing. He's great. He really cares about what he's doing, and as an actor, any type of artist, you want to be around people who are passionate.
I think classic monsters in general have always kind of been a part of like the fringe of society in a way.
We're doing it in such a different way than I've seen it done in the past.
It's like you take them and make them the heroes, and so you have all these people who are kind of othered a lot of the time. So I really like bringing them all together and showing this like group of, freaks, if you may, coming together and saving the world.
If you want to become a movie psychic, just do what I did and call Jose up on the phone, on the telephone, and say, make a movie for me. And he might just do it. He loves monsters that much.
You never know. Maybe there'll be a sequel and like Frankenstein and Dracula find a common enemy. I'm writing it for you, Jose.
I think that's about it.